Hello, welcome back to my channel. So I haven't done a video in quite some time, but I wanted to get back into it, try and do some new taping. I have moved, if you're noticing the background, and remember any of my previous videos from last year, I was in a totally different area, so new space, new videos, hopefully a little bit more consistency going forward. So I wanted to start off my renewed videoing with a tag video, mainly because I love them. I love watching them. I love to participate. So I wanted to start off with this villains tag that I've been seeing a lot lately. I actually first saw it with the Game Boys channel. I love them. They are my fellow Chicagoan people, so yay. And so it's always fun to see what they do, and I really just have enjoyed it. They also help point me towards the Sassy Cinderella. So if you haven't seen either of those channels, the Game Boys channel or Sassy Cinderella, I would absolutely recommend going and watching their videos. Lots of fun, and Sassy Cinderella's intro is just everything. I happen to have a renewed love for Tangled, so if you haven't seen her channel, go check it out. I don't want to spoil too much about what she does, but you will definitely be loving it if you love Tangled. So I wanted to do this villains tag because I am a villains girl. Something that I've just always really loved. I love how the villains are the most interesting characters out of everyone usually in the story. They have the most depth, they have the most interest, and you get to see their motivation. And it's usually their piece of the story that kind of pushes everything along. So they are the antagonists for the heroes. It's really just an important arc in a good story. So let's get started with this tag. I will put the questions down below, but let's go ahead and get started. Who is my favorite villain and why? Well, if you have ever seen me before, if you know anything about me, you will already know that my favorite villain is Maleficent. Here she is on my shirt. So excited. I love this shirt. Got it from Hot Topic last Christmas. Definitely one of my great finds. So why do I love Maleficent? She is just fierce. She's amazing. God, I don't know what it is about her other than the fact that, she's just, I can't quite put my finger on it from a personality perspective because I don't feel like I'm like her, but just there's something about her that's really appealing to me to watch, and to me she's the best and most interesting part of Sleeping Beauty. I'm not really a big Aurora fan, so definitely when the Maleficent live action came out with Angelina Jolie, I was so excited to see that, and that is by far my favorite live action movie. So definitely love my Maleficent. She's represented with purple and green, two of my favorite colors, and hello, she turns into a dragon. So can't ever go wrong with that. The next question is which villain would I most like to get into trouble with? So I posted this one on my Instagram story as well. I apologize, I have a little bit of a cold, so if you see me with a tissue a couple of times, it's just because it's the fun springtime weather. Allergies coupled with a cold here in the Midwest is just never fun. But anyways, who would I most like to get in trouble with? I really think it would be Ursula. She is just one of those characters that when she is on screen, you cannot take your eyes off of her. She is just crazy, and I think she'd bring out such a fun side of me. So I would love to hang out with her. I mean, granted, she turns people into these little soul creatures, much like Hades, but, her and Hades, I think the two of them would just rock out. So actually, if I could have a party with Hades and Ursula, that would be a really fun time. Who would I not want to get on their bad side? Well, I kind of thought about that one a lot because I'm like, well, which one do I really, not necessarily fear, but feel could do a lot of damage, and just because of the fact that he comes already ready-made, or not ready-made, but he currently already has a weapon right at his side at all times, and he doesn't treat anybody well. Like, literally nobody in his life he treats well. His crewmates, his first mate, and I you know who I'm talking about. That is Captain Hook. So, you know, with the hook and walking the plank and just not treating anybody right, I don't think I'd want to get on his bad side because he doesn't really give you second chances. So definitely would be Hook. My favorite villain quote, I struggled with this one on my Instagram story. I went with one of my favorite Yzma lines, but quite frankly, every line from Yzma is probably one of my favorite lines, so I would probably have a ton of ones just from her. I did go with Alama, he's supposed to be dead, as my favorite quote, because just the way that she delivers that one, that line is just amazing. Pull the lever, Kronk, wrong lever. Classic joke as well. And then that's just from Yzma, and there's so many other villains that I love. Their quotes, Scar, I'm Surrounded by Idiots is definitely another one high up there. It was just really hard to narrow that down. So I probably would go with pretty much any line from Yzma because her whole entire arc is just comedic gold. I love Yzma. Okay, so my favorite villain song, another really hard one. I almost feel like it's crazy to go with the same one that everybody always seems to go with, which is Be Prepared from Scar and The Lion King. But it is just one of those songs that everybody loves, and I am no exception. Poor Unfortunate Souls would be a really, really close second for me. Who is the most relatable villain? Wow, that one's another really hard one. I've heard some really good answers for this one. And one of the ones that I heard recently, I can't remember who said it, but that's Lotso. And honestly, I can totally get it. Lotso is, you know, out there. He's with his Emily, or not Emily. I can't remember if they named his previous owner. But anyways, so he's there with his previous owner. He gets left behind, not on purpose. It's a complete accident. But he makes his way back to her, just like Andy and Woody and everybody in all these different movies have always made their way back to Andy and now possibly Bonnie. But Lotso and his friends make their way back, and here she is sitting on her bed with a brand new Lotso doll. And he's heartbroken. This is his kid. And he just can't understand that, so he feels, wow, I can just be replaced. And I think we've all had moments like that, so he's definitely the most relatable in my opinion. Most overrated, this is one that I can't seem to find my answer to. I really can't tell you. For me to be overrated means that you're popular, but I don't understand why. At least that's how I take it. And all of the really popular villains, I totally get it. I love all the villains. Like I said, they are my favorite characters in most of the movies. So, yeah, I can't really see. I mean, Jafar is probably my least favorite villain. And I know that's an answer down the line of the popular ones. So is what I'm saying. So the truly popular ones, Jafar is probably the closest that I would say is overrated, but still in his own right. As a character, as a part of the story, he's a really important part of the story. He's a really important character, so I still love him. The most underrated villain, wow, that one's hard. I kind of want to go with my girl Yzma again, just because I feel like everybody loves her when they talk about her, but they never really think about her when really talking about their favorites. So I feel like she needs her own movie. Kronk got his own movie. I think Yzma needs hers. Maybe, you know, we hear that she had all of this time before supporting the Emperor or his family and all these other right-hand men that came before Kronk. So to see kind of like that and how she eventually came to be with Kronk, I think that would be a really great story. And I think that'll play into maybe another question down the line. I'm sorry, I kind of lost track, but favorite villain scene, oh, this is another really hard one for me because I love all of them. But honestly, I would, wow, I feel like with the villain scenes, it almost always ties back to a song for the villain. So although it's disturbing, although it's just absolutely, you know, the words are cringy. Everything about this is cringy, but um, what I love about this particular scene is just how it shows the whole dynamic of this one character, and that is Frollo when he's singing Hellfire in Hunchback of Notre Dame. By far one of my least favorite movies, quite frankly. I love parts of it. And I love Frollo as a character. I think he's got so much depth and so much interest to him as a character. But when he is singing Hellfire, the vocals, the visual, everything about it, yes, it is disturbing. His motivation is disturbing. It's crazy and cringy and all of that, but there's still something so watchable about that particular scene. So I don't know why, but that's probably one of my favorite villain scenes ever. Now, going back to what I was saying before and talking about a villain that I would love to see an entire movie of, and what would I name it? And yes, I would love to see Yzma's backstory. Absolutely, positively would love to. I have no idea what I would call that one, but you know, scary beyond all recognition, I guess, would be a really good one. Or just pull the lever, because I doubt that Kronk and her are the first ones to use that particular basement that she created, or the dungeon, or you know, secret lair that she had created. So pull the lever might be another really good title. But anything about Yzma, just showing where she came from, what she was doing, I would love to see that. Live action or animation, I could see it. Because like I said, when coming to live action, the Maleficent movie, and hopefully the new sequel, yay, so excited. It was amazing, and you got to see more of why she came to be what she is. And yes, it is not a direct correlation to the animated movie. They took some liberties with it. They changed up some of the character dynamics, of course, but it's still amazing. It's still great. I love it. My favorite villain merch, this is another really tough one for me. I do love to collect villains. Of the stuff that I own, I would say that probably my favorite is my Maleficent Funko Pop. That is definitely one of my favorite items that I own, as well as my Ursula Danielle Nicole backpack. I love that thing. I took it with me to Disney Springs in February. Got so many compliments on it. The only thing I don't like about that is how it opens. This little seashell pull doesn't quite make it work, but love, love, love that. Of what I would love to get and what is kind of on my grail list, and that is the Maleficent Funko Pop with the green fire in the background, or Maleficent as a dragon. Anything with her as a dragon, definitely want that. But yeah, that's probably some of my favorite merch, both what I have and what I would like to get. My least favorite villain, like I said, out of all the popular ones, Jafar would probably be it. And then my least favorite villain overall, I don't really have too many least favorites. I would probably say Shere Khan from Jungle Book, just because I never really got much of his backstory in the animation movie. I didn't really feel like there was any true, you know, why he singled him out, other than, yeah, okay, he thinks he's gonna grow up and discover fire or whatever. You know, it was just kind of silly, and I don't know. Not my favorite villain, not somebody that I'm really too crazy about, but that would probably be it. And then finally, who is my favorite villain's sidekick? Oh my God, how do I choose? I mean, right here, looking at my shirt, I see Banzai, Shanzi, and Ed. Definitely Ed of the trio there. My favorite guy right there. Love watching Ed in the movie. Goodness gracious, LeFou from Beauty and the Beast is another one that has always been a huge, huge favorite of mine. I love the character. I actually love what they did with him in the live action too, and Josh Gad. I think that they made some really great changes to the character, especially at the end when he realizes that Gaston has gone over the edge, and he's like, whoa, 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 take a step back, man. Let's, you know, think about what you're doing here. And I think that was really great that they explored that. So LeFou is just by far a great character, both animated and live action. And so I would go with that. God, there's just, again, there's so many. I could probably name all of the sidekicks. And that leads me into my next, hopefully soon video, which is I want to do a little spin on this villain's tag and take all of these questions, at least minus the very last one, and give you my answers for sidekicks. So tell me down below, is that something that you'd be interested in seeing? So thank you so much. I really enjoyed doing this and returning to my video. It's a little choppy and all that, so I apologize for that, and I apologize again for not feeling my best and looking my best with this fun cold. But go and check some of the other villain tags out. Do it yourself. Make sure you let me know that you are going to do it if you're posting to your channel or what have you. I'd love to see what you do, and thanks so much for tuning in. All right, bye.